Welcome everybody to Capes and Scowls. This is another discussion video. I'm Tim.
I'm Shuster.
And today we're going to talk about something that recently happened on the old television. We're going to talk about Ghost Rider showing up on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Now, I am caught up, except for episode 2, which by the time by the actual recording of this has already happened. So I haven't seen episode 2, but I've seen episode 1. Tim has seen...
None of it. I've seen just a little preview of Ghost Rider. But we wanted to discuss it. It's kind of interesting that they chose Ghost Rider. And the little bit I've seen, I really like it, actually.
Yes. Even though I've really never... I don't think I've read any comic of Ghost Rider, to be honest with you.
Really?
It's all come from games, old TV cartoons and that kind of stuff. That and the fantastic Oscar-worthy movies featuring Nicolas Cage.
It's just depressing. But I have read the Robbie Rodriguez Ghost Rider comics a little bit. I was not a fan of them, but after seeing him on the show, I really like that portrayal of him a little bit better. Not to say that character isn't as good as bad. He's fine. I prefer my Johnny Blaze. I know a lot of the older guys prefer Johnny Blaze in that 70s version. It was very good for its time. It was very dark. And then the Danny Ketch Ghost Rider, which happened after that throughout part of the 80s and most of the 90s, is a lot of people's. It's just like arguing who likes, the Barry Flash or the Wally Flash.
Sure.
It's the same type of discussion.
I've only ever seen the Nicolas Cage one. What was it? Johnny Blaze.
Johnny Blaze is the original.
I don't really know that much. But the thing that I like about Ghost Rider is the supernatural part. Right. And I think that's where I'm going to enjoy it the most. In that Doctor Strange is coming out soon.
Yep.
They're doing Ghost Rider. Mm-hmm. So hopefully there's some tie-ins. Supernatural tie-ins. They actually delve into maybe, magic and hell and all that other stuff. Probably just dabbling, though. They're not going to do, too much in that, probably. For at least in the show.
I mean, you'd have to really, if you were going to go deep into hell, you'd have to focus on it as a place. You'd have to bring in maybe Mephisto. You'd have to create this whole new world, and that's getting away from the actual world that already exists, that they've established in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the many characters that are on that show. I think it's cool that they did Robbie Rodriguez because he isn't as established in the comics. He hasn't been around that long. So the old, I don't know everything about this character. It's hard for me to get behind him. He does not have a ton for you to go back and read if you choose.
Yeah.
It's an interesting character. He has the car instead of the bike.
Which is interesting.
It's a modern update on it. Like I said, I prefer my old school biker, but it's fine. It's fine. I remember when I first read the issue number 1 where they debuted him as a character, I said, this is fine. It's not for me, but it's fine. I have no problems with it. I like him as a character. He has a unique human quality to him. Now, him on the show seems a lot darker, but they could take that in several directions. They could lighten him up later. He could find love.
Yeah, he does. There is some character development with him in the first episode, with the last scene, but yeah, they went super bloody. I know you haven't seen the opening scene, but he just straight up kills people with blood splatter and everything.
Ghost Rider, no matter what version of him, needs to be violent.
Oh, and this one certainly is. He literally tortures somebody in his home base where they were at the last, he runs him over with his car.
Perfect.
Just slams him. He's all chained up, the guy, and he just runs him over with the car. Now, granted, you don't see it all, but because there's only so much you can buy on television for visuals.
Sure.
But it's a very violent character, which
he's supposed to be.
Yeah.
I like that they're going with these darker tones. I like that they chose to do it now. When you're introducing Doctor Strange, you're probably going to get characters like Brother Voodoo and other supernatural characters. He's not a Dr. Voodoo. I don't like that. He did not get his doctorate. I don't know when that happened. That was just a thing. Like, he's a doctor now. It's like, But for those of you who don't know, we love Brother Voodoo here on the podcast.
Yes.
When Doctor Strange is out of town, you call Brother Voodoo.
Oh,
He'll
yeah.
show up and fix your problem and be really pissed off that you bothered him. But he's a great character.
Yeah.
But the supernatural stuff, I'm really intrigued to see what they do. I want to see Blackheart done right.
Yeah.
He is such a great character.
Wait,
and
he's already been done perfectly.
Stop.
I like how you grinned as soon as... Okay. Anyway.
One of my favorite Blackheart comics, if you want to track it down, it can't cost you more than $5, is Hearts of Darkness. It was a Ghost Rider, Wolverine, Punisher crossover.
Ooh.
It was drawn by John Romita Jr., and it had to have come out like 1995, somewhere in there. It's your Danny Ketch Ghost
Good
Rider.
old years of Marvel.
Yeah. But it came out then. It's a prestige format. It was originally, I don't know, $5, $6, something like that. It is a really cool book because it shows you how, even though they're all violent in different ways, they get along and they take on Blackheart to protect the innocent people that are in this town. Check that out. Find good Ghost Rider. Check out Robbie Rodriguez. Find those in trade. Find the issues. Like I said, there's only been no more than 20 issues of this character in his own ongoing series. I'm sure he's coming back at some point. I'm not sure the date yet.
Yeah. I'm more of a fan of the visual styles of Johnny Blaze, but I actually really like that they took the visual styles of his version of Ghost Rider, which has, I guess, a more whiter skull, a more narrower skull look to it. Trying to... Because I've seen pictures, I've seen the artwork for this Ghost Rider, and even though it's not my favorite, I like that they're transitioning that.
I love how it looks. I love how this Robbie Rodriguez looks. Now, in the comics, it's not... I don't know how you word this. It's not a very super style... It's a stylized art form. Yeah. His style is very... Not cartoony, but it's very blocky compared to somebody who's very super realistic. Yeah. And that's why I was wondering how he would look on the screen. And I think they captured it perfectly. The way the skull looks, the flames, everything looks really good. So hats off to Marvel for really doing good with this. Wow. So now going forward, what other characters do you want them? Do you think they're going to bring in more? Are they going to use Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as a device for more supernatural, for more street level?
Yes, I think. Well, what is it? Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. normally has like 1 billion episodes per season, like 24.
Yeah, it's more than your typical like 13.
Yeah, it's normally like the 22 to 24, and since there's normally 2 arcs per season because of the whole
mid-season finale.
You're gonna probably see. I would have to say if they keep with Ghost Rider for the second half of the season, they'll dive a little more into his villains and probably bring one up and have it run amok in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I mean, he doesn't have a ton of like high level characters, but there's a lot of darker, mystical kind of characters that they share. Was it Blackout, Blackheart? Blackout and Lilith. Lilith would be great if they brought her in Mephisto. Zarthos. He has a bunch of characters, but Nightmare would be really cool. He could tie into Doctor Strange as well. But I think they have to choose carefully. You don't want to... I assume Dormammu is coming in Doctor Strange in some form.
I'm actually hoping not. I'm actually hoping that either they don't acknowledge Dormammu at all, or they pepper the movie with Easter eggs for Dormammu. Mentions, like, he who shall not be named kind of stuff. Because I want them to do it right. And I want them. I want an Empire Strikes Back style Doctor Strange 2 with the or I guess more Dark Knight as a movie for a second for Doctor Strange, because I'm a big Doctor Strange fan. I would like to see a near perfect Dormammu versus Doctor Strange movie.
Well, whenever we get it, because there's no way we're not getting it at some point. I think that's...
Yeah.
So, as long as when we get it, they keep the special effects high. The effects look great in Doctor Strange, so that should be really fun to see.
Yeah, they haven't shown too much of the stuff in Doctor Strange.
Just the generic effects, the Inception-looking stuff that they've shown in the trailer.
Some of the new stuff that I've seen, I'm trying to keep away from it, but they did announce that there was like a little mini trailer, which was nothing more than an elongated commercial, but there were some action elements with the magic, and I was like, you know what? If they just pepper that into the commercials, I'll be happy because I want to go in there and see him fully fighting with magic and keeping that under wraps because they tend to show a lot in trailers and commercials these days.
Well, they know they got our dollar. They're trying to get everybody else in, and that's smart. I don't blame them for that at all.
What?
What does that mean?
Because I don't like seeing Spider-Man in the trailer. Yeah. I don't like seeing Spider-Man in the trailer. I don't like seeing Doomsday in the trailer. You know, that kind of stuff.
I thought Doomsday was a mistake, but Spider-Man was great. Spider-Man got me pumped.
No, Spider-Man got me pumped, but I think it would have been even better if you're sitting in the theater
and you don't know.
Well,
in this day of internet, you'll know.
Yeah, and due to the way the movie actually happened, it kind of spoils it. Sure. But that moment being completely out of people's minds would have been fantastic to see. That's a discussion probably for more of another time.
Yeah, but
generally speaking, I'd like to see as little as possible. But with this Ghost Rider, I don't think you're going to see a whole lot of his world in the first half. I really don't. I think it's just going to be agents just trying to figure out who he is and so on and so forth and have a cool climactic mid-season finale.
That would be cool.
But then the next half will probably, hopefully, delve more into his enemies and show that.
Do you think they keep him around, or do you think he's one season and done? Whether they kill him in the end, or they keep him in the end, or he just goes away?
If the ratings are good.
If the ratings are good.
Yes.
And the CGI bill isn't that bad.
Yeah, if they don't get the CGI bill and... but I mean...
It does look good.
Yeah, it got, I think, was it equal ratings, or a little less than equal ratings for the premiere? So, I mean... It's in the millions, so I don't see a problem with it. But then again, these...
Hey, man, that's not terrible considering, this show's been going a couple seasons. You always lose people as you keep going. People don't commit for the long haul. But I fell a season behind.
Yeah.
I'm guilty of it. I'll binge it, but,
I just got bored of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 3.
It's a lot.
There's way too much. They tried to do a whole lot. It was a little convoluted.
They're not as bad as CW with a lot of drama to fill in space for budget constraints, is what I feel it is. But
yeah. Granted, Flash has been near perfect in that regard. Arrow, on the other hand, can...
All right, well, we're getting too off topic now.
And...
You're just asking for hate. If you want to hate Shuster, feel free. Leave a comment below.
Leave comments, please.
But and we appreciate all your comments, good, bad, or indifferent.
Even the ones who don't like me.
Especially I love the ones that don't like Shuster.
Everybody loves the ones that don't like me.
Anyways, we're going to call it there because we're just rambling and getting a little off topic. But thank you for watching. Make sure you go to capesandscowlspodcast.com to check out our monthly audio podcasts. And, hey, thanks a lot.
Thanks again.